All right, Hounders, welcome back to our video series. And in the last video, we touched on task groups. And today we're going to touch on automations in Hound. Now, this is really what is automations are fueled by task groups. So if you haven't watched our task groups video, please go and watch that one first. If you're unfamiliar with how task groups feed into automations, you'll want to have a good understanding of those task groups before we dive into this video's, subject, which is automations. So pause the video, go back and watch that previous one. I'm going to assume that you're all in, you understand how task groups work, and now we're going to dive into automations. So when you click automations in Hound, the first thing you're going to see is a list of triggers here. Now these triggers are paired with workflows to create automations. So a workflow is going to be a task group that you apply to a trigger. Now, these should be intuitive to you because these are the bases of all of the automated workflows that we have in Hound today. So for example, new person. When a new person has been added to the system, right now, without me doing anything, we already have one workflow that is triggered. If I want to see what that workflow is for a new person, I'm going to click this pencil icon and be brought in. So let's configure this automation. So the trigger is a new person, and task groups are the new connection tasks. So the workflow that's been applied to this trigger is this new connection task group that is added when this trigger takes place. So if I go into this and I want to look at this task group, it says, oh, okay, so there's just a follow-up after initial contact. So what does this mean? This means that anytime a new person is added into the system, a new connection task group, this is the new task group. Again, and if you go back to my tasks group, you can see that the new connection tasks task group is what is applied as the workflow for this trigger. So what you can do is add multiple workflows. If I wanted to add the Omega Success task group like I detailed in my previous video, I can do that. I can add multiple task groups. There's no limit. You can also remove them, but I'm just going to add this one as well, which means that, hey, next time when there's a new person that's added into the system, I'm going to have this workflow kick off and this one kick off. This one creates one task because it's that task group, and this one creates the 3 tasks that we had touched on previously. You can also edit these task groups directly from here. If you click on that button, go here. So let's test this out. So if I go into, I'm going to go to the intake form. Jenkins McGee, I need you in here just for fun. We'll use this as a demo, automations demo. Okay, so when I create this person, that trigger fires and those workflows are applied. Watch. Boom. We're in Jenkins McGee's person detail page. If I go to tasks, boom. All of those tasks are now added automatically. So you can see that the follow-up task is due a week from today because that's how it was configured in the task group's configuration. It's set to be 7 days after the event triggers. Now for these ones, I had this one to be text them hello was like the next day after. I had set that to be 1 day after. That's why the due date is 1 day after today. I had set this one to be 3 days after, and then the next one to be a week later. So you can see there's just automations save you so much time in Hound. You can have full control over the tasks that are spawned. If there's already a workflow being triggered by these events, it'll be a pencil icon. If there's not yet a workflow assigned to this trigger, you'll need to click the plus icon and add a workflow. So hopefully this makes sense. These automations are extremely powerful, going to save you so much time. And again, there's no limit to the amount of tasks that can be within a task group. There's no limit to the amount of task group that you could create. And there's no limit to the amount of workflows that you can add to these triggers to power these automations. So really, really excited to bring this to you. Please play around with it. Give us feedback. We're really, really excited to bring this to all the Hounders. Thanks so much.